May I come in, sir?
Yes, please come in.
Morning, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Thank you so much, sir.
Akshat.
Little loud, Akshat. Huh?
So I'll try.
Akshat.
My name is Abhishek Parihar.
Oh, okay.
Abhishek Parihar.
Okay.
Abhishek Parihar.
Just below.
Okay. Abhishek, your father's name is Arvind Parihar
Yes, sir.
and your name is Abhishek.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us the meaning of both?
Sir, Arvind means lotus flower. It is a Hindi word for lotus flower. And Abhishek is a ceremony which refers to purification of a deity or even a king before they are given a crown. So Abhishek refers to that ceremony.
Okay. And your background is civil engineering.
Yes, sir.
And your subject for is history.
Yes.
Why?
So there are two reasons for that. First reason is my father himself is a professor of history. So after my graduation, there will be a constant guidance for me. So that was the part. And there is a overlap with GS syllabus in history, and I also had interest in the subject. So I wanted to move further with this subject as in my optional.
Why didn't you study history in the first place? Your father is a professor of history. And why did you go to engineering? If you had to come to civil services, that was the aim. When did you set that aim?
So this aim was set in first and second year of my college. It was set in second year of my college. Before that, I had interest in engineering services, and that's why I chose civil engineering. But I found that civil service will be a much better option, more diverse option. I came to know much about this civil services. So I went ahead with that. And with respect to not choosing history, I was interested in physics, chemistry, maths in my 11th and 12th. I'm sorry, sir. And that's why I moved ahead with engineering. Thank you so much. Actually, it's my sore throat. That's why. So that's why I moved ahead with engineering. And it is also for my parents, it was a secure career option also. So in tier 2 cities, engineering and medical, they are secure career options. So they also want me to go ahead with engineering.
You belong to Rajasthan.
Yes.
There is something as a controversy these days for the past few years about history. What is that controversy, and what are your views on that?
So the controversy is related to what the present context of history we are reading. It ignores a part of India, either Northeast has been ignored primarily, and even in modern history, the government has popularized the forgotten heroes of India in modern history and Indian Revolution, Indian national movement. So, and it is also seen that we are mainly focusing upon who invaded us, who was ruling in Delhi, and that is why we must expand our scope of history, and that is the main controversy.
What is your view on that? Should the history be rewritten or not rewritten? If yes, then why? If not, then why?
History writing, in my opinion, sir, it is a very continuous process, and as our understanding with the sources of history and the facts develops, new things can be added. We must respect the previous versions of history also, but there should be debates what is the current developments are, and new facts has to be added, and previous one need to be modified also based on that.
They say that history has not been written honestly.
Sir, in my opinion, the perspective with history cannot be very objective, because history is something those who are writing, at present time, they might not have seen. It is based on their interpretation. So if someone interprets the current form in a different way, they will say that it has not been written honestly. So it is just based on the interpretation.
not about the facts.
So with respect to fight, there might be different opinions about a similar thing. One cannot be very objective with respect to these facts. Some facts can be archaeological facts, we can be very objective, but literary fact, how the literature means, there can be multiple interpretation for that.
Is it your first chance, or you have appeared earlier also in the civil services?
Sir, this is my fifth attempt of civil services and first interview.
First interview, okay. Abhishek, you're from Rajasthan, no?
Yes, sir.
Very beautiful state.
Yes, thanks so much.
Now tell me, is there a train from Rajasthan that goes to Pakistan? Or it has
Munabao
stopped?
Express.
Huh?
Munabao Express.
No, it's not called Bunaba Express. Thar. It's called Thar Express, Thar. But is it operational now or
No,
stopped?
sir, it is not operational.
Why?
Because of the terrorist attack after Pathankot, the train operation was stopped, halted. It was halted.
It connects which two places? One on the Indian side and one on the Pakistan side. Which are the two places?
It connects Munabao from Jodhpur. Jodhpur is the last station.
No.
in
The other
west.
side.
Sir,
There are
as-
two places, Khokrapar and Munabao.
Yes. Sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Anyway, so we'll come to another point. Why is the border, between say Rajasthan and the Pakistan side is quiet compared to the other side of our border? Although there are skirmishes, but very rare.
With respect to India-Pakistan border in Rajasthan, there are less dispute about the border. With respect to Kashmir, it is entire border is disputed. So it is therefore the activities are much violent there, and it is a tranquil border in Rajasthan.
Okay. Tell me something special about Jaisalmer, your place, I think, no?
Special about Jaisalmer, first one enters Jaisalmer, the stone of Jaisalmer, that makes it looks a Swarn Nagri, a golden city. And then the stone, based on stone, the work done on stone, it's a very fine work done on. And then it is a tourist hotspot, a very well developed tourist hotspot. And then one explored Jaisalmer to the border. There are instances one can see how wars were fought in that area, especially in Tanot Mata temple or even Longewala village. So it has history of our Indian wars.
So Abhishek, I will take you take interest in international affairs,
I do read about them.
but you have put, I think, Indian Foreign Service as your what, ninth or
Fifth option.
Fifth option.
So it is fifth.
Why so?
So I want to serve in India for
India
Indian
only.
affairs.
Don't want to go abroad.
UPSC has given me liberty.
Okay,
to
that's
choose
why
the
you
option.
have. Okay. Now, just two questions related to our immediate neighborhood. Sri Lanka now.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing now?
Yes, sir.
Sri Lanka
Yes,
now.
sir.
What are we doing now vis-a-vis Sri Lanka?
So recently, it was yesterday. Honorable External Affairs Minister, he was in Sri Lanka, and we have given $4 billion aid, and also requesting IMF to have a resolution to Sri Lanka's economic crisis also. So we are supporting them. And
But why are you supporting them? Sri Lanka, as you know, all along they had a tilt towards China. They wanted China to do everything there, roads, bridges, and whatnot. And why do you want to again help them out?
with respect to helping, they are our neighbors, and the China factors comes again, because if China is having leverage in that such crisis, then we might loosen the friendship with our neighbor. So it is also our duty at tranquil. If economic stability is there in Sri Lanka, then it is also good for us. So that is why we are helpful, and it is part of our friendship with our neighbor.
Okay. Now we'll come to Pakistan.
Yes.
And a statement has emanated from the Pakistan Prime Minister recently. In fact, he gave an interview to, I think, one newspaper in Dubai or some area. Tell me about the timing of this interview and what does he want really?
The interview said that Pakistan has lost so much because of those wars, and they want some tranquil relation with India. The timing coincide with the fact that Pakistan, the country is facing crisis, even political and economic crisis. So they want some good relations with India, because their internal problems can be solved. If investment
But they have
come
put a
from-
conditionality, that is Kashmir.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
So what do we do about Kashmir then?
With respect to Kashmir, we must not compromise and non-compromisable.
Tell me, what is the way out? Your personal view. What should we do really?
So the Kashmir problem is so complicated. We need to have a non-compromisable stand. We can't just. Oh, they want cordial relationship, but our Kashmir stand cannot be diluted.
Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you so much, sir.
Abhishek, which are the border districts of Rajasthan with Pakistan?
Ganganagar, Bikaner, Badmer, Jaisalmer,
Only 4, 5.
Hanumangarh also. Hanumangarh also.
And which are the other districts on the Pakistan side? Do you know those districts also? It say Bikaner is the other side district, whether one district or 2 districts, and then.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm unable to record.
And what are the total area bordering Pakistan? What is the length?
I'm sorry, sir. I'm unable to recall the border length.
Okay. And we have certain issues with China.
Yes, sir.
What are the major issues?
The major issues in Aksai Chin area and also in the Arunachal Pradesh area. One is LAC and line of actual current, and it is McMahon line in northeast. So there are border issues with China, and that is why the conflict in recent time has arisen with China.
So what are the 5 issues you say that in Aksai Chin, what is the main issue? Then second, what are our claim and what is Chinese claim?
With respect to Aksai Chin, China recognized the region of Aksai Chin as its own territory, which India doesn't, because China says the Shimla Agreement of 1914, it was signed between Tibet and British Indian government, and China recognized as a null pact because they did not recognize the sovereignty of Tibet. So that is why the Aksai Chin which was part of the British India, and China say it is not because they nullify the entire pact. And that is why in Aksai Chin it is a dispute. And with respect to the Tawang, China has also always claimed their position in Tawang, although in 1957, even Tawang people welcomed Indians there. So the Tawang issue is mainly a border issue with us.
When in 1962 they captured some area from this Tawang region, then why they left it? Because when they say that it is our area, and in 1962 they basically captured so much area in that Arunachal and Tawang area, so why they have left it? What was the reason?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall the reason at the moment.
So sometime the foreign dignitaries or the foreign policy makers say that India is having problem with all the neighbors. We are not comfortable with anyone. So they say that the neighbors are good, but the Indians, they are not behaving properly. So what is your opinion? If one is fighting with everyone, then the other will say definitely something is wrong with you. We don't have good relation with China, we don't have good relation with Pakistan, we don't have good relations with Sri Lanka, we don't have good relations with Nepal. So analyze one by one in 1 or 2 sentences.
With respect to Pakistan and Bangladesh, the relations are mainly legacy issues because we had turbulent past with them, and it is also their perception also that India is a very a superpower among them, a big brotherly effect, what it is often quoted. So it is based on their perception, but in my opinion, the notion of bad relations can be from their side. Otherwise, India has always maintained a neighborhood first stand, and we have always been the first to help our neighbors. Even with Pakistan, we had difficult time, but we were always ready to extend our support in recent flood times. Even Bangladesh, Pakistan, Nepal. So we had, from Indian side, we had very cordial relation, but they had their policies of their nation, and we can't do much about it. But our stand has been very pro-neighborhood.
Okay, so from which area should I ask you questions? Civil engineering, your optional, current affairs, whatever you like.
So history, if
History, okay.
Yes, sir.
So Navratna, Aquas, Navratna, 9 jewels. How many of them you can recall?
Birbal, Mulado Piazza, Tansen, and
Right. Who else? You can recall? 3 are okay.
yes. I'm sorry, sir. At the moment, I'm not.
Raja Todarmal.
Yes, Totalman and
So what for? Raja Todarmal.
for the revenue policies.
Revenue policies. So some of those are being followed even now.
Yes.
These were followed during British period. These were followed even now. These are being followed even now. Can you name some?
These are revenue policies. Revenue about the
Revenue, about revenue. Yeah.
Sir, I'm not able to recall how in present time it has been.
Okay, were civil servants always recruited through competitive examination? History.
Sir, in China, to the best of my knowledge, they were recruited to compete. In India,
China? No, I'm talking about our country. Were the civil servants always recruited through competitive examination?
No, sir. Such competitive examination were not held. To the best of my knowledge, such exams in British India they definitely were.
So in British India, what happened initially? Civil servants recruitment.
Initial under the East India Company, it was not. It was mainly a privilege of few people to serve in
Nominated by Board of Directors.
Board of Directors
of East India Company.
Yes.
By the year, up to the year?
1813. William Bentinck, until William Bentinck, then we have competitive examination where Indian was also
Up to 1854.
1854. I'm sorry, sir. I might be confused about it.
Okay, who was the first ICS from our country? Examination was held in London at that time. So who was the first one?
Sri Satyendra Nath Bose.
Bose, yeah, something else. Satyendranath is
Tagore,
okay.
Satyendranath
Tagore. Whose brother?
See, Ravindranath Tagore. Gurudev Ashram, Ravindranath Tagore.
Ravindranath Tagore's brother. Huh? Okay, so G20, you know G20?
Yes, sir.
What is the theme G20?
Vasudev Kutumbakam.
It means?
A whole world is a family.
So the theme is Vasudev Kutumbakam is okay. So one world,
One world, one family, one future.
one future. Okay. So it is said to be the most opportunate time for India as it is holding the presidency of G20. How?
Because the current times are quite turbulent, post-COVID recovery, and the world is divided into two factions because of Russia-Ukraine war. And that's where India stands a very important position. India can raise the voice of the developing world also and can negotiate of post-COVID recovery, how it happened. Because India's economic resilience, India's how digitally empowered India is, and how India is emerging as a world leader, and India is also speaking for the opinion of the developing world. So here we hold a very important position for G20 in various dimensions.
Okay, G7 countries you might be very well aware of.
Yes, sir.
So in the summit which was held say about 1.5 years, 2 years back, in that President Biden talked about B3W to counter Belt and Road Initiative of China. So what do you mean by B3W?
Build Back Better World was the initiative.
So that was to counter
To
BRI.
BRI.
Okay. A Global South Summit, any idea?
Yes, sir. It was recently held, and India chaired that summit.
Okay.
And Honorable Prime Minister wanted to raise the issue of Global South and how G20 will be initiating such issues also, and on a much larger platform.
So main decisions taken during this summit, Global South Summit?
I'm sorry, sir, I'm not unable.
Okay.
Unable to recall.
So recently, Bhutan and China have decided to talk on border-related issues. So, do you have any idea and how it is going to affect us? Border-related issues.
Yes, sir, it was in
Are
the-
you aware related
Yes,
with
sir, it
some of the
was
border-related issues
The
between
Doklam
China
issue,
and Bhutan?
the tri-junction issue, the Doklam
Tri-junction issue. So, which is that tri-junction?
issue. In Doklam, to the best of my
So, it is going to affect us. Huh?
it will affect us because we are also a neighboring of both the country, and in Doklam crisis we had differences also. So if they are able to resolve our issue, there might exist some tranquility in that area.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
You wait outside, Abhishek. We'll call you in a minute.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. May I come in, sir?
Come in, Abhishek. Please
Thank
sit
you so
down.
much, sir.
Abhishek, you have a very pleasant personality.
Thank you so much.
So we are really impressed. And that will stand you in good stead in the interview. When is your interview?
2nd of March.
2nd of March. So you have some time.
Yes.
So how many mocks you have done so far?
So this is my 5th mock.
5th mock. Okay. Maybe you can take one more mock because you have some time.
Yes, sir.
Just a few tips from our side, or you can call suggestions. First of all, which newspaper you read?
Sir, I read the Hindu, the Indian Express, and Times of India. They are
3 papers you are reading.
Yes, sir. Earlier I was reading only Hindu and Times of India. I've had Hindu and Indian Express only. I've had Times of India because Economic Times, they are not available in Jodhpur.
Okay, our suggestion would be to read either Mint. If you can't get Economic Times there, read Mint. Mint, you
ask
know,
for
have you heard of that?
Digitally you can get?
Yes, sir. I have not habit of that digital.
Yeah, because you must read Mint actually.
Yes.
Because by the time you appear for your interview, the budget will be there.
Yes.
Economic survey also report will be there. So you have to focus on them very carefully.
Yes.
Then history is your optional subject.
Yes.
So some questions were asked on history, but there will be so many questions. Be prepared, starting like rewriting of history. They're talking of rewriting history.
The most important one.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the basic question which is asked, I have checked the UPSC questions last few years. I've been doing that, reading them. Even they say, why do you study history? You have to have a good answer.
Yes.
Then renaming of cities.
Yes.
There will be questions on that.
Yes, sir.
So be prepared to give your answer. I mean your views.
Yes.
I mean there is no right answer or wrong answer. Okay. Then more about your state, the beautiful state Rajasthan.
Yes.
I just asked you one question about the train and the border situation, but there will be many questions on Rajasthan, including now I think cultivation,
Yes,
agriculture, which is really a prominent area now,
Yes.
because you are adopting Israeli technology now,
Yes.
in the state. So there will be questions on that. And last but not the least, I would say international affairs.
Yes, sir.
You have to be conversant with what is happening around you.
Yes.
So not only the immediate neighborhood, but all over the world.
Yes, sir.
Like Ukraine, for example, there will be just a question on that.
Yes, sir.
Why are we not, let's say, criticizing or condemning the Russians?
Yes, sir.
Why are you buying so much oil from them? There will be questions.
Yes, sir.
So be prepared. Wish you all the very best. And if you have any questions, please do ask.
Sir, with respect to rewriting of history, was my stand diplomatic or quite extreme?
You say whatever you feel like.
Yes.
Whatever you feel like, you say.
Yes.
You can hold either of the views or a balanced view.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Those rewriting about the history who criticize it, they say that justice has not been done
Yes, sir.
and certain facts had been hidden,
Yes, sir.
which under the garb of secularism,
Yes, sir.
whatever was the reason, but they say that history has not been written properly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there are certain facts which history does not tell us.
Yes, sir, definitely, sir.
You can take that view. and then balance it out. It has to be a balanced thing.
Yes.
No, it has to be balanced.
रिलेटेड विद योर डेफ आइडेंटिफाई प्रोबेबल क्वेश्चंस. अच्छा, एक आपने बात कही कि वहाँ पे वो मिंट भी मिलना मुश्किल है और इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, तो कम से कम योजना जरूर पढ़ लेना.
Yes, sir, definitely.
पिछली 2 कम से कम, और जब तक आपका इंटरव्यू हो तब
Yes,
तक भी, क्योंकि बजट और ये सब जैसा कहा इकोनॉमिक सर्वे सब हो गया होगा जब तक. संसद टीवी भी देख लें.
Yes, sir.
हैं? देखते रहें रात.
Yes.
आप जयपुर से किसी को बोल देना, पोस्ट से भी तीसरे दिन पहुंच जाएगा आपके पास.
हाँ सर.
हाँ, तो वो पोस्ट का भी भले पन्ने पलटने से ही आपको आइडिया लग जाएगा. आज
Yes,
समवन फ्रॉम जयपुर, दे
Yes,
विल
sir.
सेंड इट. जोधपुर 300.
Abhishek, one last thing I wanted to tell you. Your interview went well with us. I mean, the mock
Yes, sir.
went very well. We have given you about 63%, in the.
Yes, sir.
But I know you can still improve.
Yes.
You can probably make it 70%
Yes.
with some efforts
Yes. Sir.
on your part. So wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Please.
Thanks.
All the best.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.